Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to look at the Tortoise, a tier 9 British tank destroyer, which it's got ups and downs about it. There's some really good things about it, and there's some really bad things about it. And you know, the bad things for me kind of outweighs the good things, and it's been the same with this tank for a very long time. And it's more about the armor profile on this thing. So 254 on your front. Now it sounds okay, but there are so many weak points with this tank. Like, there is so many, and even a lot of mediums will be able to penetrate you. Of course, it's slow as well, so you know, there's a lot of bad points, and for me it's just all the weak points. I don't mind it having weak points, but the amount of weak points there's got, I mean, you've got these sections here that are very weak, the lower plate here that is very weak, and of course, if that's not enough, then you also have one of the biggest weak points, and that is the hatch on top. So anyone can penetrate them. Now mediums, okay, or some tanks with the either side of the gun may have to shoot pramo, but as soon as they switch to the pramo, then it just becomes so weak. And it's in a line where they're known to be sort of heavily armored tank destroyers. And it's frustrating, and I've always sort of sounded this frustration. However, the DPM, the gun is very good at 3,413. So very good DPM. That is just a 5.27 second reload. Now, this is with the standard gun. So it does have a couple of guns. So this is with the standard gun. Of course, you're not going to use it with the standard gun. I'm just showing it because I don't actually have the tank on my free-to-play account, which is what the account I'm on at the moment. So, of course, you have the tier 8 gun, which you're not going to use, the tier 9 gun, and of course you have the tier 10 gun here. So let's just we're going to really sort of focus on the tier 10 gun, because, you know, that is what gun everybody is pretty much going to use. And it's pretty much the same DPM, 3,429 DPM, penetration 259 on your AP and 326 on your APCR. And you do have 120 on your HE. So try and use that HE, because again, it's British, it has that hesh, and it really will help. So 400 alpha, 340 on your APCR, and 515 on your hesh. You do have a very nice 10 degrees of gun depression as well. So stat wise is actually very good. Of course, it's slow. It is very slow. It's very big, but for me, the down points just outweigh the good points. You know, that the amount of weak points you've got on the tank, and yes, it's got things like 10 degrees of gun depression, but even if you're on a ridge, then you still have that hatch on top that just goes above everything else, and people can penetrate that quite easily. If you are on a ridge and you are sort of pointing up, then yeah, it can hide the hatch, or it can make it a little bit more difficult to penetrate. But yeah, it's just frustrating. It's a really frustrating tank, because it's a tank that I really just want to love, you know, because the gun is just so good. But also the whole line. So we start off with the AT2, not the AT8, the AT2. So the AT2 is the tier 5. So you start off with the AT2. Let's just go back. So AT2, then you've got the AT8 in tier 6, and then you move over to the AT7, and then of course you move over to the AT15, and then the Tortoise. All of them are very similar tanks. And then you end up on a Death Star, which it fits nothing. It does not fit at all in this line. Really, they should have put something like the Badger at the end. Then maybe it would have fit a little bit. So apart from the Death Star, the whole line is known for the DPMs, and they should be known really for the armor profile. Now, the AT2 is probably one of the best armor profile tanks in tier 5. It is absolutely incredible. And of course, you are coming up against tanks that, well, people that don't really know how to deal with you. So it's a very patient line. You've got to be very patient when driving this whole line, but everyone's going to drive them. Everyone is going to play the line for one reason only, and that is, of course, the Death Star. So we are going to get into a game. We're going to watch this game here, a replay I got from BlitzStars, just to show what this tank can be capable of doing. And some of these shots he has is incredible. And as I said with the HE, do try to use the HE on this tank. It is something I don't do as often as I should. I should more use HE on this thing, but also beware of your surroundings when playing this tank. Always try to hide the right side, because that is where your hatch is. So like here now, he's actually in a really good position. He's angled, he's hiding his hatch behind the building, and that's actually not a bad position. And that's what I would always try and recommend. Just if you do have a building, go to the left side of the building just to try and hide that hatch on the right side, so at least it is on one side of the tank. It isn't directly in the middle, so there is ways that you can actually hide it. So far, one tank down for the green team, and not a lot has actually happened at the moment, except for now the heavies are coming around, and this is where DPM really does help. So you can, if you've got targets, if you have targets, then you can just pretty much out DPM anything. But the ones you got to watch out for, of course, are those pesky light tanks. They're medium tanks, because they can get around, and they can get around you very, very easy. And once they're behind you, there is not too much that you can do. So it's 2,000 damage so far. He's managed to pump it up very, very quickly, and that is something you can do in this tank. Like, that is, for me, the only good thing about this tank is that DPM. So the speed of the tank, the armor of the tank, that for me outweighs the DPM. That's why I don't really enjoy playing this tank. It's just because there's so many downfalls about the tank. But if it had really good armor, like really good armor, and not as many weak points as it's got, then I don't care about the speed of the thing. You know, I don't mind that, because of course if it had armor, if it was quick, then yeah, it would be pretty OP. But as it stands, it really is just the gun that's kind of OP. And I'm not saying that you can't get bounces like we've just seen there. Of course you can do. All depends on, of course, the enemy, and of course your angles. But and that was a nice shot. That was a very, very nice shot. So far, 3,200 damage. There still looks to be quite a bit of work, and that was a nice HE shot into that hawk there. There's the Borzik, which you can see, very, very easy pen, even from that distance, no problem whatsoever. So he has managed to bounce 1,700 damage, so it's not all doom and gloom. He has still bounced 1,700 damage. He's now pumped himself up to, well, pumped his damage up to 4,100, and luckily this T30 just did not want to know him. He wanted to go for the other guy, the easier target, I should imagine, and he ended up missing anyway. And this is where your DPM is just bang, 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 like he's gone in no time whatsoever. And now he's got himself up to 5,100 damage. 2 kills, but there is still 3 tanks left alive. That Samoa there, is he going to go for the HE? Yes, he is. 461 damage into him. So pretty nice alpha if you can use that HE. So nice high roll there. The Samoa, no idea what the Samoa's doing. He's kind of like, okay, you can't see my turret, but yes, we can see that hatch, and he's absolutely getting destroyed. He is now on his own against 3 tanks, so it's going to be pretty hard, even with the DPM with this thing, against 3 tanks, one of them being a light tank, is still very hard work. So 109 HP there for the Samoa. Very nice shot indeed that was. Gets a beautiful bounce, and that is now 1,900 block damage. Can he turn in time for the Borzik to get here? A couple of HE shots will clear him, and he does manage to get a very, very lucky bounce. And again, no chance for the Borzik. He can even reload again before this Borzik has reloaded his shot. And it now just leaves 1 versus 1, but it is a light tank. Now watch this shot. This shot is absolutely fantastic. To win the game, absolutely fantastic, because this Hawk 12 could have just run off and made it a draw, but that final shot there was is worthy for a win, in my opinion. Almost 8,000 damage in the Tortoise, so 7,800 damage. Managed to still block 3,300 damage, so he's still done a pretty good job. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of the Tortoise? Now again, I want to like it. I've wanted to like it for years. I love the gun. I think the gun is absolutely fantastic, but really for me, it's the armor profile. It needs to be a little bit better, but that's my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye bye.